Hello, my wonderful and dear friend. Welcome to the Jeffrey Breedwell audiocast. Hi. I have missed your face. Well, I don't really see your face. I see, well, nothing really. I don't, but my voice missed going into your ears. I'm sure your ears missed hearing my voice that is perfectly good for radio. With a face that also is good for radio. So there we go. Today we get into a little bit of a dangerous topic though. Today gets into the dangers of print on demand. And just in case you haven't been around, print on demand is that thing where you can like go to a website, design a shirt, and then have it printed. Instead of like going to a t-shirt company or like spray painting your own shirts or doing like stuff like that. Printing on demand is you can print whatever you want. And there are some dangers that comes along with that, especially if you start to sell things. Including jail time. So just kind of be forewarned from here on out. Okay. This episode though is the dangers of print on demand. That's where we're at. This episode is going to be brought to you by Rocks, keeping your pockets able to sink since 1734. Rocks! They also pair well with rolls. Just don't put the rock in the roll, because then you'll die. You don't want to do that unless you want. No. We're not trying to die. No one's trying to die. Okay. Good. All right. Here we go. Anyway, if you want to look up where this blog actually was, it's going to be on my Substack. It's jeffreybreedwell.substack.com. That's Geoffrey, Breedwell, just like I would, breedwell.substack.com. You can also go to my website. It's going to be jeffreybreedwell.com. You can kind of get in there and you can see what's going on. In fact, if you go there right now, you kind of spoil the ending for yourself. So I don't know if you want a spoiler alert or not, but it's up to you. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and get into the dangers of print on demand. A little over 15 years ago, I started selling shirts online. I didn't promote them or anything. They didn't really go anywhere. The shirts had an old logo with the words, "Live long, laugh hard, breed well." I designed them with the purpose of maybe promoting my music, but that didn't really go anywhere. Instead, it just sat in the store. That is until December of 2017, when I got a notice from a lawyer saying I had infringed on the trademark by selling clothing with the word Breedwell on it. The logo I apparently infringed upon was for Breedwell, a sole proprietorship out of New York, starting in December of 2017. The company is an underwear company. Well, it's written in the trademark as a Class 25, t-shirts, tank tops, socks, underwear, shorts, and pants, harness applications, namely harnesses worn by people as clothing in the nature of sweat-absorbent underwear, LED harness, namely harnesses worn by people as clothing in the nature of sweat-absorbent underwear with embedded LEDs, all of which are designed for and marketed specifically to homosexuals. That is a quote. The logo for Breedwell is a stylized, just Breedwell writing with like a laser cube thing, octagon / 3D cube on the inside, with a black background. I received a cease and desist letter. Then the website got involved and my logo was taken down. To this day, I have yet to receive a single dollar for any clothing I've designed. Well, this taught me a valuable lesson. Nothing is ever off limits to someone who finds your name hilarious. The owner of Breedwell Gear, LLC, or Michael Lenahan, has named his company as such, and because of this trademark, he could have sued me for trademark infringement and possibly won. I didn't file a trademark. I didn't own the rights to my name, nor my art, as innocent as it was. While his art is geared towards male homosexuals' closet and boudoirs, it isn't necessarily taken that way. This is why I have the disclaimer on my website and in my bios on every social media. I do not sell underwear. My art, the content you are enjoying right now, must be separate from his. Printing on demand. Shirts, pants, posters, and other items that can be printed on demand pose a unique challenge. There's an opportunity for creatives and companies alike to shine and make money by selling their products to the public. The problem arises when the content that reaches major retailers such as Walmart and Amazon differs from that available on smaller sites or Etsy. What's humorous to one person can be highly offensive to another, and in this volatile political environment, it can be deadly. There are pictured 2 shirts, one black, one white. Colors are reversing on either one. On the top of the shirt are the words "Paper Beats Rock," with a hand folded to look like paper in the angle of a Roman salute over the fist that is of resistance. Both pictures, or the picture, is generated from a screenshot from Walmart.com. These shirts might speak for themselves for those familiar with history. For those listening to this who slept through history class, the shirt depicts 2 iconic symbols for and against equal rights for all, the raised fist and the Roman salute, respectively. Is there a way that this shirt could be anything other than white supremacist propagandic dog whistle disguised as shirt advertising, paper, rock, scissors? In my 40 years on this planet, I have never seen an advertisement for that game. And I don't think I ever will. We interrupt this broadcast to let you know that today's sponsor is Paper, Rock, Scissors. Paper, Rock, Scissors, settling disagreements and curing boredom since 2024 BCE. And now, back to the audiocast. That was weird. All right, so let's look briefly at each symbol on the shirt to ensure that we understand each one thoroughly. Okay. Raised fist. When the raised fist comes to mind for our modern minds, it might bring up this image from the 1968 Summer Olympics, where gold medalist Tommy Smith and bronze medalist John Carlos raised their fists on the podium after the 200-meter race at the 1968 Summer Olympics, while Peter Norman of Australia won the silver. On his chest is a badge for the OPHR, or Olympic Project for Human Rights, which Norman wore in support of his 2 cohort medal winners. But that event, while iconic and monumental on its own, was not the origin of the raised fist. Politically, the IWW, the Industrial Workers of the World, also known as Wobblies, was initially founded in 1905 and ended its revolutionary unionization efforts at the hands of the anti-sedition laws, U.S. Army, FBI, and police Red squads in 1917 to 1918 as the U.S. prepared to enter World War I. One of its founders, William Big Bill Haywood, gave a speech at the 1913 Patterson Silk Strike in New Jersey. In the speech, he used the metaphor of a closed fist being something greater than the sum of its parts. In 1924 Germany, the raised fist was adapted as a salute by communists and anti-fascists in the Communist Party of Germany's Roter Front Kampfverband, RFB, or Alliance of Red Front Fighters, during the Weimar Republic, stemming from the police violence where 8 people were killed and 16 were wounded. The group fought back against the rise of fascism in the streets with police. The Nazi Sturmbannführer, or the SA, aka brown shirts and stormtroopers, and other rivals. It culminated in 1929 when protests were banned in Berlin. At the celebration of International Workers' Day on May 1st, 1929, protests from the RFB and police violence led into days of fighting in Wedding and New Köln, where approximately 33 people not involved with the RFB were killed, 200 were injured, and over 1,000 more were arrested. No police died, nor suffered from gunshot wounds. This specific period, May 1st through the 3rd, 1929, in German history, is known as Blutmai, Bloody May. The RFB was banned, and after the rise of Nazism in Germany, the RFB members were some of the first to be sent to the concentration camps. The RFB aided in cementing the raised fist symbol as being anti-fascist. After the Second World War, the fist became synonymous with revolutionary causes, projecting the image that people are stronger together. The Roman salute. A heavy controversial salute which has been associated with Rome, fascism, Nazism, and far-right politics, but it started in the heart of France in 1784. That's right, it's not Roman. At all. In Jacques-Louis David's painting, The Oath of Horatii, the salute originated in a pseudo-historical myth and later evolved into a Roman myth. Unfortunately, any Roman art that might show the salute with any resemblance doesn't exist. A salute like it, the Bellamy salute, was created by James B. Upham to accompany the Pledge of Allegiance, written by Francis Bellamy in October of 1892. When the SA began using it as their salute in response to the raised fist of the RFB, and subsequently began the rise of fascism in Germany, school boards around the U.S. revised the salute. It was at the urging of the VFW and the American Legion in 1942 that Congress codified the hand over the heart when saying the Pledge of Allegiance. It has been used in various ways worldwide since 1939. For many European countries, it brought outcry for the saluter to be a neo-Nazi. In Portugal, it's used in an official capacity by the Portuguese military when they take their oath. In Germany, its use is forbidden by law. The message on the shirt. The shirt's message gives us a clear reason to pause here. The lettering, paper beats rock, recalls the paper, rock, scissors game, where paper does beat rock. But there's something more here to notice. The Roman salute focuses on the individual, while the raised fist focuses on the group. By this reasoning, the shirt may also say that the individual beats the group. This is untrue in every logical and rational sense. Nowhere in history has an individual been more important than the group. Jesus wouldn't have had as much of an impact had it not been for his disciples. Augustus would have been nothing without his Senate. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Harriet Tubman, Barack Obama, and even Donald Trump illustrate that leaders would be nothing without the people who follow them. The group will always be better than the individual who leads them. Leaders are leaders only because the group allows it. To quote a specific document once fictionally stolen by Nicolas Cage, it is the consent of the governed that is the source of a leader's political power. The message of this shirt raises a question within the print-on-demand industry. Are there any designs that won't be approved? If this shirt could be sold on Walmart.com and Amazon.com as appropriate, what would be considered inappropriate? Do the sellers have a right to do this? Is it ethical for them to do this? Are they dangerous? In the U.S., the Supreme Court ruled that attire is a part of free speech in the 1969 case Tinker versus Des Moines, citing 7-2 in favor of writing, quote, "Neither students nor teachers shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate," unquote. This was in for students protesting via dress code. The 1971 case of Cohen v. California, the court voted 5-4 that the jacket that said "fuck the draft" inside a Los Angeles County courthouse was considered free speech because it didn't incite violence or use fighting words. Do these shirts use fighting words? Legally speaking, most likely not, but then again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just an ADHD author with an MDiv and an hankering to fight for civil rights for everyone. Is the shirt dangerous? Most likely. If anything, it gives print-on-demand clothing sellers like Printify, Redbubble, Guten, Gelato, Printful, and Custom Cat something to worry about. However, this shirt doesn't come from any of those shops that I can find, which can only mean one thing. They're being used on the back end. On September 25th, 2025, the user Tran Hong Hat generated an AI-written blog on shibt.com that tells the meaning behind the shirt and promotes the shirt as a, quote, wearable piece of wit meant towards gamers and to get conversation going. But the site doesn't list the shirt for sale. It's listed on T-Shirt Bear, which uses, quote, crowdsourced designs. The legal disclaimer on the site says it's a fan-based design contribution. T-Shirt Bear also has an eagerly similar design to tshirtcat.com. It's worth noting that they use the exact same model, the exact same header photograph, with the exact same layout. Storefronts like this feature a single motif. A print-on-demand shop operated by the same company that sells its shirts to retailers, such as Walmart and Amazon, through a drop shipment model. This interconnectivity of the print-on-demand source enables them to link their account to multiple stores, including Walmart and Amazon. But just because they can, doesn't mean they should, right? We can print any shirt we want and wear whatever we want. But if we don't pause to educate ourselves on what our clothes really say, then they can shout something we never intend. Communication in art seldomly ends the way the artist intends. Graphic t-shirts, like art, allows its meaning to be held in the eye of the beholder. Once the art is out there in the world, then it no longer belongs to the artist. It belongs to the audience which beholds it. And if it has a trademark, the artist could be out legal fees and damages. The storefront and manufacturer under the Walmart agreement must have an EIN, or a business tax ID, a physical mailing address, UPCs, and prior experience. Walmart, for example, manually vets every seller on their website to prevent fake sources, while Amazon is a bit more beginner-friendly with their, quote, merch on demand option for selling limited copywriting designs, slogan, and trademarks. But it isn't the store options that are the issue. Walmart and Amazon double-check the trademark database for any possible claims before they approve any clothes to be approved. If I wanted to sell shirts just with the name Breedwell on them on Amazon or Walmart, I would most likely be rejected due to the trademark. This prevents them, and me, from lawsuits. But for now, I did something a little different. Instead of moving towards printed on-demand shirts, I decided to make the investment in myself as a brand. I decided to keep myself, the Jeffrey Breedwell version, legal. I had to do some research. I dove into the trademark website, dove into videos, blogs, and graphics about what could protect me the best. I figured out the connection that I have with my name would still allow me to sell clothes if I wanted to, and allow me to continue to give you, Jeffrey Breedwell, as a brand of content. I'm a brand. It's a me, a Jeffy. That was meant to be more Mario than it came out, but it's a me, Jeffy. Still not Mario. My name isn't trademarked. As the person who bears the name, I can trademark it and no one else can. Using my Skulls and Quills logo, as well as the logo on my website, I have trademarked quote, Jeffrey Breedwell, unquote, under a different category. There are thousands of categories, but the one that fits what I want to do the most. 041, entertainment. This separates me legally from Breedwell Gear LLC. I am, quote, Jeffrey Breedwell, both the person and the brand. Trademarking my name puts a $350 investment in the permanent choice that creative content is my jam. Any clothing or merchandise promoting this content is considered common law, i.e., a common connection. And thus, Breedwell Gear LLC would not have claim to it. To celebrate this, I've decided to sell a shirt. That's right. The shirt, as depicted by the man in the graphic, which is just me, is a simple black shirt with a skull and quills on it, coming in sizes small to 5XL in the Gildan 5000 shirt variety. It's 100% cotton, and there's free shipping. Okay? It's the best way you can support me and the content that you're listening to. You can tell the world over that you're not one to stand by in creativity, or one just to go with whatever's in charge or whoever's in charge. You can tell them that you just like the design and you wanted to support the creator. And you can click on that right now at jeffreybreedwell.com. The link is also in the show notes, where you can see my picture with me wearing the shirt. It's now available. We're official. We're trademarked. And there's free shipping. Now, in an effort to be transparent, I'm only clearing about $5 a shirt on this. I just want to see you wearing it. The more shirts sell, the more I'll put up for sale later. If enough sell, I'll start a whole Breed Wheezy clothing line. How fun would that be? This is my oldest idea. Anyway, that all being said, it's up to you, my dear friend, to make sure that you know what you're wearing and what it ultimately says about you. If first impressions last a lifetime, then let's ensure we're sending the right message about who we are, what we support, and our philosophy behind what we wear and sell. With all my heart, Jeffrey. And that's it. I'm really selling shirts. They are for sale right now. And I bet you're wanting to know the price. You're like, okay, Jeff, you got to tell me the price, because I'm not going to give money. Not even going to go to the site to see what it is, to what the prices are. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. Are you ready? I don't know if you're ready. Are you ready? Do you want it? Do you want to know? You want to know? You want to know? Okay, I'm not going to tease you anymore. The price of the shirt is $21.95. Again, I'm only clearing $5 per shirt. If that. And it's even less if you buy a bigger size. Okay. It's $21.95 with free shipping. Anywhere in the US, free shipping. Sorry, Canada. Wish I could, but I can't. That would just up their price for you. But $21.95 free shipping in the US. And it has legendary durability. It's the shirt. It is the shirt. It is fantastic. It is awesome. It's eye-catching. I wore it the other day. I wore it out like to the mall with my daughter, and a lot of people looked at my shirt. They had no idea what it meant, nor did they feel socially inept enough to like, oh, hey, I like your shirt. And what's it mean? They just saw a skull with 2 feathers or 2 quills on it. That's all they saw. And they're like, okay, is he a pirate, or is he like really like One Piece, or what is this? It's a shirt with quills. And in the right hand, a quill is lethal. And the debut of the skull and quilt design is a tribute to the creators who bleed ink to tell a story. if you want to support that, then go to my website, jeffreybreedwell.com. You can click on store right up at the top, and that's going to take you right to the shirt. There's only one item available right now. That is the shirt. You can go there and do that. Next week, I will tell you that it is going to be a double episode, and you might find some fun here on the shirts. It's a behind the scenes. So tell your friends, tell your loved ones to listen also next week and this week to say like, hey, for my birthday, I want a shirt and I want Jeff's book. But next week it's behind the scenes. I just put the VHS in the bag, bro. And the behind the scenes story is kind of crazy. It's kind of fun. You get to see how much it changes. But that's the thing. Tomorrow you get to see how much is important, or not tomorrow. Next week you get to see how much is important to me about the just put the VHS in the bag, bro. I go into it. It's going to be a double episode. It's going to be fun. Please buy a shirt. JeffreyBreedwell.com. You can go there, have a good time. I love you. I'll see you later. I'll see you next time. Same time next week. I'll catch you next time.